Hello from Thailand. I will describe my personal experience of flying my dog to Thailand. As you already probably understood, we are now in Thailand, which means we made it here safely, which is great news. Let's start from the beginning. Before the flight, I had to prepare because my dog's vaccination record wasn't enough for Thailand. No, Malo. Come here. That meant a pause of almost 2 months on my travel plans. My dog needed to have a first round of vaccinations, a waiting period, a second round of vaccination, another waiting period of 21 days, and a final visit to finalize the documentation needed for the expert health certificate. I applied for the certificate online about a month prior to the flight. From the first visit to the flight date, I had to spend a total of 53 days in rented accommodation in a room in North London since I had already rented out my flat. It was okay since the area was very green and we also had a small garden and a friendly resident dog. The vet who took care of the case was Dr. Lawrence from Goddard, Dagenham, East London, who was excellent and well prepared as usual. The last visit to prepare all the documents was 2 days before the departure. On that day, Dr. Lawrence sent me an email requesting a declaration about the kennel I would use to ship Malo, my dog. And however, a few minutes later, he sent another email requesting the import permit number. Unfortunately, I didn't have one because I didn't apply for it or remember having to do so. Dr. Lawrence told me that he had informed me to apply for it at least a month before. Although I had no reason to doubt that was the case, a written checklist would have been helpful rather than just relying on my memory for something that was just only oral. Looking for a way out, I found online, come on Malo, that the Thai Customs website, that when bringing a pet on as in a passenger flight, the import permit can be obtained in Thailand at the Airport Animal Quarantine Station, AQS. We didn't have any other option at that point, since it was just 2 days before the departure. Another source of worry was that the flight was due to land at about 4 p.m. on a Sunday, and the animal quarantine station was open only Monday to Friday, and anyway until 4 p.m. I later found out that the opening time applies only for animals brought in as cargo. If you bring the pet in a passenger plane, the animal quarantine post by the conveyor belt number 8 is open 24 hours. After the final visit, I had the documentation ready. Original rabies vaccination document, pet vaccination booklet, and a stack of paperwork for the export certificate. Packing time. All my belongings were in a big suitcase, a large bag, and a smaller bag. Plus, of course, the shipping kennel for Malo. A couple of days later, it was the moment for us to go to the airport. We hired a Uber pet taxi, which was not an Estate or Excel car, but just a sedan. The kennel, although big, could comfortably fit in the back seat. However, there wasn't much space left, so the driver allowed me to sit in front. We arrived at the airport a comfortable 3.5 hours before our flight and reached the EVA Air check-in desk. I was directed to go on the side where an employee checked my pet documentation, which I showed them. However, they wanted to see the import permit, which I did not have. They said, without it, Marlow can't fly. I told them that it can be applied for on arrival and showed them the web page from the Thai Customs website on my cell phone. Initially, they resisted, and I had to show and explain a few times before they said they were going to call the animal quarantine station in Suvarnabhumi Airport for confirmation. It took maybe 30 to 40 minutes of tense wait before they told me it was okay. From Thailand, they have been told it's not a problem at all. I had initially put water, food, and some blankets inside the kennel, but they informed me that the only thing allowed was the dog pee pads, which I had, and I placed maybe 6 or 7 of them inside. Food and water had to be removed as well. They said water would be filled later by airport staff. I had purchased a drinking bottle, but I failed to train him to drink from it. And even so, I tried many times for many days to show him how. I then bought the biggest and deepest kennel bowl I could find. Since I received the all clear, I could finally check in my personal luggage. After, I was led to the oversized baggage area where I brought Marlow in his kennel. To be noted that throughout the whole process, I was led by a very kind EVA Air employee who brought me to the right places and accompanied me until I was together with an oversized luggage employee. Once with him, he brought me inside a private area through various corridors in a shipping area where we were waiting for another employee to take over from there and bring Marlow to the last vet check where they make sure that the kennel is big enough for the pet to stand and turn around. He said if the kennel was judged to be too small, then Marlow would not be allowed to fly and I would be informed at the gate. That would mean, of course, that I would not be able to fly as well. So that was a little final worry because the kennel turned out to be 80 centimeters long instead of 90 centimeters long as described on Amazon. They were maybe referring to the external box size. I don't know, but that left me on the edge until the last second. Once inside, and after more wait, he asked me, "Have you paid?" I said I hadn't been asked for it yet. So he said he couldn't proceed, and also the time was running out. He said I have to be fast or there won't be enough time. I had to go back outside from this area and I was back with the lady who helped me initially. She brought me to a counter where I paid the £378 shipping fee and then back to the oversized luggage area. I had to wait again, and the oversized luggage employee was getting worried about not having enough time. Finally, the handler from the other side came, and I was informed that I could proceed passing through security and going to the gate. Security was moved, and it took only a few minutes. My initial plan was to have some food and drinks in the airport, but as all of these shenanigans took so long, I only had 1 hour left before flight departure, so I went directly to the gate. On that day, the only thing I ate during the whole day was breakfast in the morning, because it had been a very busy day. And boy, I was hungry. I decided so to just get some smart water at the vending machine. I got a bottle for myself, and I bought an extra bottle to give to Marlo on arrival without having to look around for a place selling water over there. Suddenly, my name was called. Oh, where are you going, Marlo? And I had to present myself at the gate's desk. Another worrying situation. Why are they calling my name? They said they have a $sign next to my name, which means there are unpaid bills. I said I have a receipt of the payment, but they didn't want to look at it. Instead, they called someone internally, and the whole situation was clarified. Finally, we were allowed to board the plane, and I was just waiting for the moment they would serve food. Marlo, let's go back. Here is the dead end. The plane was meant to depart at about 9:30 p.m., but instead it was delayed by about 30 minutes. In the end, food arrived at 11:30 p.m., and I was really hungry. However, during the flight, I had enough food and snacks, and all was good. I didn't enjoy the flight because I was worried and thinking how scared would Marlo be down below in the hold. I'm sure he was. After 11 hours and 30 minutes of flight, we finally touched down in Thailand. I was told by the hostess that the luggage would be on conveyor belt number 20. After the long walk to reach the area, I located the conveyor belt 20 where luggage had not arrived yet. Yeah. I was not sure where to collect Marlo, which was my first priority. I asked an official at the customs by the exit, and after some communication problems, he called another officer with better English. They told me to go to the oversized baggage claim, which was next to the conveyor belt 14. However, I failed to spot it and went to another oversized baggage area called Z3 further along next to the conveyor belt 20. The employee there didn't speak English, but somehow I managed to communicate that I was there to collect my dog. He did tell me I was in the wrong place, but he told me to wait there because he checked on the computer system and knew that Marlo hadn't disembarked yet. Around there, I dropped my iPhone microphone somewhere on the floor, but I didn't notice. Dog, stay back. So I left it there on the floor in the middle of the corridor where people walk. While waiting, I started to wander around and I found the AQS, Animal Quarantine Station office. There were two officials in there, a male and a female officer. I pre-warned them that I was waiting for my dog to be disembarked and I would be there shortly. The female employee came outside the office and walked me to the right baggage collection area. That was really kind and thoughtful. We reached the right collection area called Z2, but Malo hadn't arrived yet. I decided then to go back to conveyor belt number 20 to collect my baggage, which was there, and I loaded that on a small trolley. I went back to the Z2 oversized baggage collection area, and Malo wasn't there yet. In the meantime, I realized that I lost my microphone, and I was sure it was gone by then. I decided to retrace my steps back to the first collection area named Z3, since I had to wait anyway, and with little hope, but worth trying. To my surprise, the microphone was still there on the floor, probably exactly where I dropped it. This was at least 15 full minutes later. Finally, at the collection area Z2, Malo arrived. He was happy to see me, but he seemed rather tired and apathetic. The water bowl was empty. I had with me the half-liter bottle of Smart water I bought in London, which was still fresh enough, and poured it into his bowl. I poured it multiple times, and he drank the whole bottle. It must have been really thirsty. After passing customs, I bought more water for him, but for the moment that was a good start. And it was a good idea to bring a bottle with me. We were now ready to go back to the AQS, the Animal Quarantine Station. They asked me to show the documents, and they asked where the import permit was. I said I will do it there, and they said, luckily, okay, no problem. The officer sat with me and helped me to fill the forms, also telling me which part to fill in and which part I could skip. They said that the fee was, Malo stop, was 510 baht, or about 12 British pounds. I didn't have any Thai currency with me, and from what I understood, it had to be paid in cash. They said there is an exchange just outside. ATMs were also available, but I did bring some new 50-pound notes from the UK. I got a bit lost, and I finally found the exchange booth. Once there, however, they told me that they need passport, which I left it in the AQF's office. I went back to get my passport, and then I just changed 50 pounds because the rate there was not very good. That's what it's my life. I had the 9 baht in coins, which was not enough to reach 10, so I gave them 600 baht. The officer said that they didn't have change And he said, I will add 1 baht from my own pocket. I was feeling bad about it and I asked them to accept the 100 baht, but they really didn't want it. With the fee paid, the import permit was issued right away and I was free to go to the goods to declare customs area. The lady at the desk informed me that since Malo is over 10 years old, the import fee is 1,000 baht instead of 500 baht. I am not sure what the logic for it is, but it's Thai logic, so it's good for me. I initially paid cash, but then I asked if I could pay with a card and keep the little cash I had with me. They said yes, but with a surcharge of 9 baht. I agreed and I paid 1,000 baht by card. And I have to tell you a little secret. I had a few treats and a couple of trays of dog food I brought in from the UK, and I placed them in view in an open bag on top of the trolley. So if they didn't stop me, I could say at least I didn't try to hide them. Importing meat products to Thailand is illegal. Nobody stopped me, and luckily I had some food and treats from Malo without having to stop in a pet shop because it was already evening. Outside the airport, I took Malo out of his kennel and started cleaning. There was quite a bit of pee on the floor and the absorbing pads weren't enough. I should have put more, but to my defense, I had no idea. We got to the coffee shop. I also bought some more water from Malo, which he drank, but he wasn't that thirsty now. I had with me a couple of rolls of toilet paper, which I used to absorb tea, and I placed the dirty parts of the toilet paper to dog bags. I had some wipes with me, which I used to further clean the kennel. A lady passed by and asked her if she could help. I said I was looking for a rubbish bin to throw the dog bags. She initially tried to explain, but then she said, "Don't worry, I will throw them away for you." Another example of Thai kindness. Everything had been smooth, easy, and organized on the Thai side, while on the British side, it felt a little bit disorganized, even though everyone has been kind and helpful. I was also mind blown to find the old microphone on the floor a full 15 minutes later. It was time to get a taxi. At that point, I opted for the public taxi because I didn't have a Thai SIM card yet to order through an app. But there were plenty of booths selling tourist SIM cards, but I didn't want to delay the process further. The next step was to find transportation to the studio flat I rented for the next 2 days. A lady told me to go on a van she was probably touting for, but I refused. She then suggested, sit down, that since I was going to Bangkok, Samut Prakan, I could take the short distance taxi, which had no queue. However, they told me that Bangkok was not considered a short distance according to their definition. I had to join the long queue and I went for large taxi so we could put the kennel in the booth, which was part of the main car body since it was an estate car and thus also air conditioned. I didn't have a problem transporting the dog with public taxis, but we needed a large taxi. and Marlowe had to be placed in the kennel, which was acceptable at the time. We just wanted to get to our little studio apartment in Bangbo as soon as possible. I witnessed a conversation in Thai between the taxi driver and the local staff, helping people to find their taxi. I understood that what they were saying. The guy asked the taxi driver what was his pet's charge. He asked if it was 100 baht or 200 baht, for example. The taxi driver said he didn't have one. After a while, he asked the taxi driver again what was his pet's charge. The taxi driver finally caught on the idea of getting some extra money and said 500 baht extra to me in English. I said I can't do 500 baht, it was too much, and offered 200 baht. I saw he accepted that, but later heard him on the phone in the taxi saying that he got 300 baht extra, probably still thinking I could not understand. In fact, when we arrived, he wanted 300 baht. I tried to tell him 200, but since I thought it was a misunderstanding on my part, I paid him the 300 baht. In the end, the important thing is that we got back to our flat without any delays. These kind of things normally happen with airport taxis. Later on, when I transported Marlowe with a large taxi from the Grab app, he could sit in the booth without a kennel and the driver didn't ask for any surcharge. I then also hired a local taxi to go to Pattaya, and I had to put Marlowe in the kennel, but also in that case, there wasn't any dog surcharge. So, where were we? At the Studio Flat Park, almost at the end of this little story. We checked in with no problems with the building staff, and after a while, we walked to a local family restaurant. Marlowe refused the dog food, but loved the boiled pork that they cooked for him without any seasoning. He had 2 portions, so I was happy that everything went well and he had good appetite. That's the end of my little story of bringing Marlowe to Thailand. I hope you enjoyed it or got something out of it, something useful in case you're planning to do the same. Bye bye, and until next time, ciao for now.